Welcome, everyone, and thank you for helping us keep an American tradition alive. In celebrating on Memorial Day, the members of the American Legion Post 140 and this national holiday to remember and honor our war dead. Not just those who made it home, but those who were missed in action, and also those who were buried at sea, who made the ultimate sacrifice so we can enjoy the freedoms and liberties of America. To quote Ronald Reagan, he stated, "There's a special sadness that accompanies the death of a serviceman. What they gave is beyond our power to repay. So when a serviceman dies, all we can do is remember." Most of them were boys when they died. They gave up two lives. One was the life they were living, and one was the one that they would have lived. When they died, they gave up the chance of being husbands, fathers, grandfathers, and revered old men. They gave up everything for our country, for us. We owe them a debt we can never repay. All we can do is remember them and why they had to be so brave for us. Our prayer will be offered by Post American Legion 140 member Robert Luca.
Dear God, today on Memorial Day, may we honor and remember those who died that we might live in freedom. We remember our departed loved ones. Those we honor will be a part of our lives forever. Oh God, we are mindful of your great love for us. We are thankful for that love. We praise you for the blessings of love and friendship for our families and our homes. Amen.
At this time, do we have Gold Star families with us today? If you would, we'd like you to come up and have a seat on the front row. Gold Star families,
Honor guard.
please come up.
Check.
No Gold Star families? Okay. What is a Gold Star family? These are families who lost sons and daughters in combat. And to share a poem written by Ron Tramner, our post commander and bugler, I want to quote his poem. Quote, "The awful price of freedom no one fully understands until a folded casket flag is placed in their hands." And so they understand the price and the cost of freedom. How about the veterans? We have veterans with us today. We'd like you to come up and also take these seats to the left so you can be honored and respected. Give a round of applause. Thank you very much for your service, and for our Vietnam veterans, welcome home. We invite everyone to stand, please. Remove cover, put your hand over your heart, and veterans stand and salute. And we invite you to join us as we pledge allegiance to the flag led by Barry Sadler, our Sergeant at Arms.
Present. Hark.
Please recite after me the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll now hear our national anthem. Please remain standing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Please be seated.
We'll now have a self-written patriotic poem read by former post commander and bugler Ron Kremner.
Good morning. It's so great to see you all out. I've been a bugler since my retirement several years ago, and I played taps over 1,000 times at the grave sites of veterans who have passed away. And every time it's very touching to do that. But I wrote a poem following the most touching moment that I ever had as a bugler. And it was when we were ready to play, the rifles were in place, I was in place, we were waiting for the hearse, and I noticed a little boy, probably 6 or 7 years old, and he kept pointing my way and talking to his mommy. And finally she took him by the hand and brought him over to where I was standing and says, my son is intrigued by your bugle. And I says, oh, that's great. Would you like to hold it? And he says, sure. So I handed him my bugle, and he looked it over a little bit. And then he got all somber and a little bit teary-eyed and handed it back to me and says, are you going to play this for my daddy? And that night I wrote a poem of what transpired. I titled it, The Bugler and the Boy. I stood ready at the graveside of a Marine who lost his life, a hero who had left behind a young son and his wife. Intrigued by my bugle, his boy walked to my side. My daddy was a Marine, he said, through tears he fought to hide. I didn't get to tell him that I love him and goodbye, and now I can't because he died. And he began to cry. I knelt and put his hand in mine, and fighting back a tear, said, your daddy knows you love him, of that you need not fear. But like your dad, you must be brave and be a soldier too. Help your mom by being strong. He'll be so proud of you. The gun salute was fired. It was time for me to play in honor of a hero who died and went away. His little son brought up his hand upon the bugle's sound and saluted his brave daddy. Not a dry eye could be found. I always feel emotion each time I stand and play, but never has my heart been touched as it was touched that day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Community Speaker, Mayor Lauren Palmer,
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here this morning. I first wanted to recognize a couple of council members here with me. Sherry Orn is here with me today, as well as Steve Schultz, who's here with me today. Appreciate you being here, as well as Representative Carucci. I don't see where Candace went. Candace is right here. Appreciate you all being here today, especially those of you who have served or who are serving and your families as well. It's my privilege to just give a few remarks today. Today we gather in cities across the United States to commemorate Memorial Day, a day dedicated to honoring the courageous lives of those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. The grounds here of our Harriman Cemetery are the resting place of 165 U.S. military veterans. A flag flying here honors each one. We remember those who served long ago and others in our day. They were not just soldiers, sailors, and airmen, but also mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends and neighbors. Some heroes met their fate on the battlefield. Others returned home to raise families, build their community, and share their experience with all of us. Some dedicated a few years, while others a lifetime. All are worthy of our remembrance and our honor. I am reminded today of the words of Franklin D. Roosevelt, who said, "In the truest sense, freedom cannot be bestowed, it must be achieved." These heroes who we honor today helped achieve freedom for our country through their unwavering dedication and sacrifice. The freedom we have today was not and is not free nor automatic. It was paid for with determination, bravery, and sacrifice. As we see the flags filling this cemetery, mere words cannot adequately express our gratitude for their service, but we can live our lives with honor, perform acts of kindness and service, be good neighbors, and support one another as a united community. Today, I thank these brave men and women. I encourage all of us to quietly ponder what their service means to you and to me. May their memory continue to inspire us as we strive to build a better future, cherishing the freedom they fought to protect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now Nashville recording artist Caleb Austin will now perform The American Soldier.
There you go, Caleb.
I'm just trying to be a father, raise a daughter and a son, be a lover to their mother, everything to everyone. Up and at 'em bright and early, it's all business in my suit. I'm dressed up for success, from my head down to my boots. I don't do it for the money, there's bills that I can't pay. I don't do it for the glory, I just do it anyway. Providing for our future is my responsibility. Well, I'm a real good under pressure, being all that I can be. I can't call in sick on Monday when the weekend's been too strong. I just work straight through the holiday, sometimes all night long. You can bet that I stand ready when the wolf growls at the door. I'm solid, I'm steady, I'm true down to the core. And I will always do my duty, no matter what the price. I've counted up the cost, and I know the sacrifice. Oh, and I don't want to die for you, but if dying's asking me, I'll bear that cross with honor, 'cause freedom don't come free. I'm an American soldier, an American. Besides my brothers and my sisters, I will proudly take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I'll always do what's right. I'm out here on the front lines, sleep in peace tonight. American soldier, I'm an American soldier.
Thank you, Caleb. That was beautiful. I'd like to share a couple of quotes that's extremely applicable for today's ceremony. One is General Norman Schwarzkopf, and I quote, "Ordinary people may navigate their lives and locations on this planet in a studied ignorance about the evils surrounding them. But those who served and have served in uniform know of evil's existence, its penalties, its cost. We intuitively understand that the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. Good men and women have carried our flags wherever something had to be done to make the world a better place." End quote. One other quote from General George Patton: "It is wrong to mourn for those who've died. Rather, we should thank God such men lived." End quote. American Legion Post 140 Bob DeLuca will now honor the veterans interred in this cemetery by reading their names.
Good morning. Once again, I want to thank the Herman City employees for the beautiful cemetery. It's just always a pleasure to come here and see it looking like it's beautiful. And once again, to all you Vietnam veterans, welcome home. And I will read the names. Adam David Wayne Anderson, Elma Davis, Barella Mike R., Barlow Edmund Owen, Bodell H. Kent, Bodell Ronald Murrell, Boland Melvin Ray, Bout Ray, Bowen John Cyril, Bowen George E., Bowen Vernon S., Bowles Robert I., Butterfield Almond Densley, Butterfield Almond Parker, Butterfield Boyd T., Butterfield Clyde Warner, Butterfield Douglas Rubin, Butterfield George, Butterfield Glenn Lamar, Butterfield Herbert Williams, Butterfield James Reed, Butterfield Lawrence Elma, Butterfield Ross Willard, Butterfield Samuel Heber, Butterfield William Henry. Canova Norman Ray, Carter Ray L., Carter Timothy Albert, Checketts Cindy Martle, Chevalier Donald Montel, Chevalier Ronald Martel, Chitty Leonard, Christensen Claude A., Christensen Roy S., Christensen Frank Edward, Church Jeff, Coles Reed Leroy, Colton Darwin W., Cooch Bartlett, Crane Arthur Don, Crane Arthur W., Crane Bruce N., Crane James Lynn, Crane John Stephen, Crook Kent Douglas, Crosby Henry Williamson, Crump Billy Glenn, Crump Joseph Cal, Danzy Arthur Hellman, Danzy Clinton, Davidson Ellen Gordon, Davis Roland Swart, Davison Edison Arthur, Densley Deloy, Densley Elmo H., Eastman Clarence O., Eastman Kamara, Eastman Kenneth Harvey, Eastman Leo G. Lee, Edwards Herbert B., Elkins Chester Elkin, Ernest Guy F., Ernest Joseph Robert, Farley Lyman Dale, Farewell Wayne G., Flake Dwayne Wendell, Foreman Darrell Heber, Foreman Delbert Ivan, Foreman Ellis G., Foreman Julian J., Foreman William Keith, Fredrickson Oscar Hiram, Freeman Corey D., Freeman Dean Woodruff, Freeman J. Rubin, Freeman Larry Odell, Freeman Marlon Darwin, Freeman Thomas Ray, Freeman Virgil L., Gerke Richard Clarence, Gibson Andy, Grass Samuel P., Hall James Edgar, Hamilton Darrell E., Hancock Chad Kent, Hanson Ray R., Hogue Roscoe, Harvest Joseph D., Ivy Jim D., Jacobson Del Russell, Jarmello Elevar B., Jared James Ray, Jensen Donald Holmes, Jones Joseph E., Jones Stephen Donald, Kalilinki Joseph Candido, Harass Gary Lee, Cruzat Melvin Elford, Labram Jesse Leroy, Labram Richard J., Lewis Ford J., Lish Raymond Arthur, Lopez Alexander Pedro, Lauder Ellen Lewis, Mangum Carl Bryan, Markroff Harry Russell, Mascaro Clayton Joseph, Mascaro John T., Melorico Richard Lewis, McNally Henry, Meir John Henry, Metcalf Darwin Dean, Miller Charles A., Miller Clarence Earl, Miller Darrell E., Miller Hiram E., Miller Lewis, Millett Norman Keith, Mitchell Lamar Green, Newman Franklin J., Nelson Ivan Reed, Nunley Richard Dia, Owens John Robert Bob, Perry Everett Thomas, Perry Raymond George, Peterson Kenneth, Peterson Scott Clark, Poor Cecil O., Poor LeGrand C. Howe Richard W., Pratt Alma Ernie, Rasmussen Fester Fitzgerald, Reese Robert John, Ridgway Jr. William T., Riley Jr. William Patrick, Roach Leonard A., Roach William Grant, Roberts Robert F., Roth Billy Lewis, Rupich John Chris, Sandoval James Randall, Sanders Wayne E., Savage Earl Charles, Simmons Fred Martin, Sorensen George Frederick, Sorensen Ned W., Swartout Wayne Harold, Taylor Clarence, Tempest Byron James, Tempest Blaine G., Tempest William Brady, Upcraft Jack Norman, Van View Christensen, Vodopitch Robert M., Vodopitch Tony, Walker Richard G., Wallace Ralph Dean, Wandell Charles William, Wardell Linwood A., White Jr., David Virgil, Wilcox Roger Dwayne, Wilcox David Donald, Wilson William J., Yates Linda Lee Fritz. Now, if there's any names on here that should be on here that I didn't read, just get a hold of Harriman City and they'll take care of that. Thank you.
Look at our flag. It does not fly because the wind moves it. It flies with the last breath of each soldier who died protecting it. May God bless each and every one of you. And may God bless America. We will now salute those who are interred here. Drill Captain Kurt Clammer.
Honor guard, attention!
Yep, stand up.
Rifle squad, port, port. Right, take. Ready. Hey. Hut. 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 Port, port. Hat, left, face. Present, port.
This concludes our Memorial Day program. Thank you so much again for helping us remember. Drill Captain?